In this video for 6.5 re-engineering, we are going to move into the drawings for your wooden kit. So you've gone ahead and already made your assembly and your exploded assembly, and now we're going to go ahead and make a small set of drawings. This isn't going to be the full set, but it should be a good review for you because we haven't been into drawings in a little while, so I know you may have forgotten some things. The first thing you're going to want to do is open up this master template, which you have saved in our shared folder, and go ahead and do a file save as, and save it into wherever you have your wooden kit project, and just go ahead and call it working drawings, and go ahead and save. Now on this very first page, it's going to be our title page, so we want a nice big shaded isometric of our assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a base view and say, if that just pops up, I'm going to say OK. Now since I have some things open, it's automatically trying to pull in my exploded assembly, but I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little folder, and I'm going to navigate to wherever all my stuff is saved. Now you're going to be navigating to your student folder, and you're looking for your assembly. I'm going to go ahead and open that. I'm going to switch to my home view, and I'm going to make sure that shaded is turned on, that is blue. And I'm going to get a nice big scale. So 2:1 or 3:1 is gigantic. 2:1 is still way too big. Will a 1:1 fit? No. How about a 3/4? Let's do 3:4. That looks perfect. Now you choose what works for you. Go ahead and get a nice big scale of your model so it can kind of take up the page. We can get a good view of it. I'm going to click OK. And let's go ahead and delete the grading scale. So I'm just going to click on that, and you can go ahead and delete that. And I'm just going to move this, kind of center it up. And then I need to fill in my title block down here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down this title block information and click on field text. I'm going to type in my name in all caps, my project title. So you can just call it the name of your kit, the scale that you used for the cover page, and the period that you're in. Alright, so the title page is done. Let's go ahead and move on to the next page. Remember to make a new page. I'm just going to go ahead and right click over here on the existing page, and I'm going to right click on working drawings up here and do a new sheet. I'm going to type in my name, type in the title. This is going to be the exploded assembly. I don't know the scale yet, so we'll have to come back in and do that, and I'm going to click OK. Now I also want to start naming my pages. So remember, if you click on these, I just double click on the text. I'm going to call this title page. This next one is going to be called exploded assembly. And then now I can bring in my explode assembly, so I'm going to go base. I'm going to hit the home button here. And I'm going to see if I can go a little bit bigger, maybe try a half scale. Nah, it's not going to fit for me. So you got to find a scale that's going to fit in here for you. And you're also going to want to leave some room over here because we're also going to add our parts list. And we're also going to need balloons. I'm going to turn on shaded. Make sure that is blue. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to scoot that over. Go ahead and fill in my scale in the title block. And then now I need to add in balloons and then my title block. So remember, with balloons, I'm going to go to annotate up here, and then my balloon is right here. And if you remember, we said with balloons, you always want to click on like an outer edge. Don't click in the middle of an object and then run a leader through it. So I'm going to click on an outer edge, and then I'm going to just go ahead and bring it up at a nice angle. Remember, no horizontal lines, no vertical lines when adding balloons. So I'm going to left click and I'm going to give it that nice little leg, and I'm going to left click again and then right click continue. And then go ahead and just keep repeating that same process with all the other parts. And what you want to make sure of is that you have this nice angle with a little leg, and I should probably redo that one. That one's not that straight. And make sure that your balloons are not crossing through parts or other balloons themselves. So go ahead and add all your balloons to all of that. I'm just going to stop there. And then the next thing we're going to do is the parts list. So go ahead and pause, excuse me, finish your balloons, and then come back and let's do the parts list. So I'm going to go parts list. I'm going to click on my exploded assembly. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to put that up over here in the top corner. Say OK if you get an error message. And don't worry about this running into it right now. We're going to clean this up. So if you remember, we want item quantity. We're going to change this to part name. And then we want material, mass, and volume. So we'll need to add the other three. So all you gotta do is hover over this, right click, and edit the parts list. And first thing, let's change the name. So I'm gonna click on part number right here, and I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna go format column. I'm gonna change this to part name. Make sure you're doing this in all caps. Oops, there we go. Say OK. And then I'm gonna go over here to description. I'm gonna click on that. I'm going to right click and go to column chooser. So we don't want description. I'm actually going to click on that and remove it from my list. And then I'm going to add in the material. So I'm going to click on material over here and I'm going to add that to my list. And then I'm going to go to mass. I'm going to add that. And then finally I'm going to go to volume and add that. So that is what you should have. And then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to hit apply, say OK, and then now I need to tighten some things up here to give myself some room. So I'm going to tighten this up a little bit, bring these in, get that in, don't want to go off the page. So tighten that up, get everything in there, and then make sure that your title block doesn't run off the page. Make sure balloons are not running off into the parts list. So you may find out that, oh, I got to go back and delete a balloon because now it's running into the parts list. So go ahead and clean all that up, make it look nice, and that'll be the second page in the working drawings. Now, normally we would do all of the detailed drawings of each individual part with all of the dimensions needed to manufacture this product. But we've already done that a few times, so we're going to try and slim this down a little bit so we can move on from this unit. So the last page we're going to do is a page for the two re-engineered parts you made. So I'm going to go up and right click and make a new sheet. I'm going to type my name. I'm going to go ahead and go project title. This is going to be re-engineered parts. I don't know the scale yet. I'm going to go 1 on that. And actually for the scale, I'm just going to put as noted because I'm probably going to have 2 different scales for each individual part. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and place in my 2 parts. Now, quick disclaimer, I don't have re-engineered parts to show you. You are going to bring in your 2 re-engineered parts that you made. So I'm just going to use some of the original parts just to show you an example. So I'm going to go place in my base view. I'm going to search for my re-engineered parts. So go ahead and find one of those. And I'm going to click OK. And I want you to hit the home view. We just want nice shaded isometrics for these, so turn on shaded. And you may end up adjusting your scale, but you're going to have to fit one part on one side of the sheet and your other re-engineered part on the other side. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to move this right here. And then actually I'm going to double click back into that view. I'm going to turn on the label by clicking the light bulb, and then I'm going to name this part. So whatever the name of this re-engineered part is, go ahead and type that in. So I'm going to pretend like I re-engineered the headrest for this biplane. And I'm going to say OK, and then you got the nice little label underneath. You're going to do the exact same thing again for your other re-engineered part. Let me just see if I can find one. Let's go with this one. Again, hit the home view, turn on shaded. You can go bigger scales if they'll fit. And actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that at 1:1. And I forgot to put the label on, so I'm going to double click back on that, turn on my label, and name the part. I don't even remember what this was. Tail, I'm going to make that up. Tail. And then you're going to go ahead and the last thing you need to do is put a paragraph underneath each one of these parts, providing evidence of, actually, I'm sorry, first just explaining the changes you made, and then secondly, the reason why you made those changes and why you feel it's a good idea to make those changes to this part. So you should have a short paragraph filling the page right underneath each one of these to explain what you did and why you did it and why it's a good idea. And then that'll be it for the working drawings. Please make sure you spell check those paragraphs. And remember, to add the paragraphs, you're just going to go text tool right here, left click hold, drag out a text box, and just go ahead and start typing your paragraph. Now, I don't believe there's spell check, so you need to make sure you're checking your spelling, because you will lose points if you have any errors there. All right. And then the final thing you're going to do is you're actually going to print all of these. So you're going to print all 3 pages to the printer in the back of the room, and then you're going to neatly staple them together and turn them in on my desk for a grade. So I'm going to go back to this title page. Now you can either press Control P on the keyboard, or you can go up to the printer up here. Either one will work. You're going to go ahead and make sure that you see our printer. The key thing here is the print range. Right now, if I print, it's only going to print the title page. I want to check all sheets. I'm going to do a quick preview just to make sure we're good. You can go next page just to double check everything. And if I'm happy, I'm going to hit print. And then if everything's good, I'm going to click OK. If it wasn't, click cancel, and you can go fix anything and then come back. And then finally, you should still screen clip this into your binder onto your working drawings page, so you also have the digital copy. And that is it for 6.5 Re-engineering the working drawings.